In this video, I'm going to show you possibly the best free-to-play team you can build as a start on the mobile platform of the game.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
What is up, heroes of Dominion? My name is Charlie. This is Herowarscentral, and in today's free-to-play Friday video, I want to discuss one of the most popular hero teams on the mobile version of the game in a free-to-play kind of format. And if this is your first time joining me, I like to do educational videos about Hero Wars for the browser, that's web and Facebook, and Hero Wars Mobile. And if you find this video interesting, or maybe you're a new player, please consider subscribing, turn on that notification bell, and if you find this video helpful, go ahead and hit that like button. So free-to-play on mobile. Last week I did a free-to-play video for Facebook, and it involved the hitter Kark. And Kark is my favorite hero by far in the game, and he's a little harder to get on mobile. So one of the most common posts that I had, and one of the most common comments that I had in that video was that Kira was a better free-to-play hero. And while I agree to some extent, you got to do it the right way. The best Kira teams in Hero Wars are some of the most expensive hero teams in all of Hero Wars. They require heroes that take a long time to get. They take heroes that take a long time to invest in, and they're not great to recommend to new players. But this team is a great team to recommend to new players. So we're going to start off with the tank. We're going to start off with the tank, and in the campaign, day one, you get two solid tanks. You get Galahad and you get Astaroth. Now, you can really go either direction with this. I think ultimately Galahad is the better tank for Kira teams, but Astaroth works just as well. So choose either Astaroth or Galahad. You will use the other tank in your second or third team later on in Guild Wars and crossover Guild Wars, but you can't go wrong really with either of them. You could go with a more offensive-oriented team with Galahad, or a more control-y team with Astaroth. And I think that it's possible that this free-to-play version of Kira, lends itself more to Astaroth being the tank than Galahad. But you can choose either of them, and you can start grinding Astaroth's soul stones immediately. You get an option in chapter 1 here. There's an option in chapter 2, and it's not until chapter 3 where you get the hero of our story, Kira. Okay, so you got to work your way to chapter 3 at least before you can get the main damage dealer for this team. But once you do, you have one of the most popular heroes in the entire game. Kira is incredibly effective at the campaign, in the tower, never mind arena, grand arena, and crossover wars. Just a fantastic hero. You can see that you can get Kira here in chapter 3. You get Kira in chapter 4. So every day you have, by chapter 4, you have 2 missions for both Astaroth and Kira to farm their soul stones. And that's what you should start doing immediately. And as you kind of continue to level up, you can see more and more. Chapter 5, you get another Astaroth option. I think it's not until chapter 7. Yeah, you get another Kira and another Astaroth option. But that's kind of the core of your team, your tank and your main damage dealer. From there, we're going to take a look at some vendor heroes, and we're going to go to the Outland shop. Qing Mao is one of the best pairings for Kira. Qing Mao provides armor penetration to Kira, and Kira loves armor penetration because of one of her abilities, her violet ability, that relies on having more armor penetration than the enemy's armor. If you have Qing Mao, let me find my Qing Mao real quick. Hopefully I can find it quickly without having to scroll too far. Qing Mao's artifacts provides armor penetration, okay, to your entire team. So Qing Mao is a great hero to have to pair with Kira. Having more armor penetration makes your Kira do more damage. Qing Mao is also excellent at defeating bosses in the Outland activity, as well as in the campaign, and she's very proficient at taking out enemy bosses that have high armor, like Cleavers and Galahads. She chews through Astaroths like they're not even there. So you have a tank, Astaroth or Galahad. You have Kira for your damage dealer. You have Qing Mao from the Outland vendor right here, once you get access to the Outland vendor, and I'll throw a screen up on there showing you when you get access to that. And then who else would you do? Now, this is kind of where you're going to want to save for the future in a way. You can kind of go a couple of different directions. One of the ways that I would suggest would be to use the support hero Fox. Now, I hesitate to recommend Fox. I really hesitate to recommend Fox. You don't get her until chapter 3. And while she is good at providing some damage and some armor penetration for your team, I'm not a huge fan of Fox late game. I just don't think she's that good late game, right? I think she does provide some bonus damage and, like I said, some more armor penetration for your team, but I think Qing Mao is already enough. What I might recommend instead would be pulling a support hero out of the chest if you happen to get lucky, such as a Jet, or not a Jet, I'm sorry, an Anvari or a Sebastian. If you get Jet, if you have an absolute star hero for whatever reason and you can unlock the Soulstone shop, go ahead and grab Jet instead. That's where ultimately you're going to want to gear towards. But you could also use a hero like Jorgen, or I'm not even sure. Maybe you could throw in like Darkstar. Darkstar at least provides a little bit of utility. Astrid and Lucas provides similar utility as Fox, but she provides armor instead of armor penetration. So maybe if your primary tank is having a hard time tanking in some of those fights, that's kind of where I would go. Maybe Dante with the rework. Dante could be a great idea. In fact, let's just stick Dante in there instead of Fox. You're going to get access to that tower at level 15. We're going to use Astaroth as a tank. We're going to use Kira as our damage dealer. We're going to buy Qing Mao from the Outland vendor to provide tank killing specialty, as well as more armor penetration and a lot of upfront damage. And then let's go ahead and add in Dante. Dante is going to lower the enemy's main stat. Dante is going to do a lot of knockback damage, exposing the second hero in line, so your Qing Mao can shoot through that second hero in line. I think Dante is a good choice instead of Fox. And then finally, for a healer, we're just going to go with the day one healer, Thea. Okay, we're just going to use Thea. Ultimately, you're going to want to go with a better healer for this team, such as Dorian or Martha, possibly. But you're going to get access to Thea Soul Stones in Chapter 1, and you'll be able to farm her Soul Stones, I think, pretty effectively once you complete Chapter 4. Yeah, so you'll be able to get access to her Soul Stones pretty quick once you get there. And then once you kind of have that baseline team set up of Astaroth, Kira, Qing Mao, Dante, and Thea, you can start to consider swapping out heroes here and there for alternative sources. Maybe Jorgen if you need it. Maybe Celeste if you happen to loot her out of the chest. Once you get access to the Soulstone shop, go ahead and start collecting Jet. You're going to want Jet in this team, and Jet with Sebastian is even better. So now, one of the better teams that I mentioned at the top of this video, one of the better in-game Kira teams is Anvari or, any tank, plus Qing Mao and Kira, Sebastian, and Jet. There's a combination of 5 to 6 heroes that works very well together. They call it the Blender, the Kira Blender team. High damage output, killing your enemy in under 15 seconds, sometimes much faster depending on who you're going against. But just to recap, pick one of the starter tanks, either Galahad or Astaroth. Skip Aurora. You don't want Aurora for this team, although Aurora would probably work okay. Astaroth or Galahad. Pick one or the other. You could level them both up for a while until you decide to, which whenever you like more. Of course, Kira for the damage dealer. Once you get access to her Soul Stones in Chapter 3, you want to go ahead and start buying Qing Mao Soul Stones from the Outland shop. As soon as you get access to it, and as soon as you're earning Outland coins every day, go ahead and grab Dante from the Tower Shop. Make sure to buy that 100,000 gold too. That's going to become invaluable to level up your skills. And then use Thea as a healer. You could probably get away with not even using a healer, in some fights. Maybe not in the tower, but, in some arena fights, you could probably get away with not using a healer. But, that's kind of a quick and dirty, free-to-play Friday video for, Hero Wars Mobile. Is it the best free-to-play team? I don't know. Sometimes you got to make a clickbait title so people watch your video, and you got to feed the kids. You got to buy those pepperoni pizzas, you know what I mean? But let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think is the better free-to-play mobile team. And keep in mind that the term free-to-play is a sliding scale for everybody. Some people free-to-play means spending $0. Some people free-to-play means spending under $10, getting that raid option and Celeste and maybe some Valkyrie's favor. Maybe there's a solid Satori team you're thinking about. There was a really cool Daredevil Elmer team that we talked about in the live stream earlier today. Let me know in the comment section what your free-to-play mobile team is. I know that there are some free-to-play mobile players out there. I would love to hear it. And remember, we cannot do free-to-play videos that include heroic chest vendor heroes. The heroes out of the heroic chest, and we can't do free-to-play videos which include soulstone events because you never know when a new player is going to start, and you never know when that Martha event's going to come around again. You never know when that Sebastian event's going to come around again. You never know when that twins event's going to come around again. But let me know in the comments what you think. I love you all. Good luck in Dominion.